I'm Michael Bungay-Stania. This is Change Signal. This is the podcast where we cut through the blather, the BS and the noise to find the good stuff that works in change. If you are a transformational leader and you are seeking modern change mastery, you are in exactly the right place. Now, I'm releasing this bonus episode in December, and of course, there is a lot that goes on in December. There's all sorts of reasons for people to come together. So it is perfectly appropriate that I'm speaking to my friend Misha Glouberman, because he is the wisest voice I know in terms of what it means to create high-impact gatherings. And in this really short episode, I think it's less than 10 minutes, he's sharing his 4 key rules of gathering. Now, I think you can apply these 4 rules to change programs in general, but also specifically to any gathering, which is typically a part of any change process. Doesn't have to be a fancy conference, but if you know you need to pull people together as part of the change experience, then you need to know these 4 rules. Now, we're doing it live. We were on a walk. Misha was talking. I'm going to pull out my phone and I'm going to record this. So we're in the middle of High Park. It's August. High Park's one of Toronto's great parks, if not the greatest. But you're going to hear birds, and you're going to hear cars, and there's bikes. I think there's a dog at one stage. So there's a bit of background noise, but we're just going au naturel for this. I think you're going to love this episode. So please enjoy. Misha, you were telling me about kind of your 4 principles for running a great conference. So what are those 4 principles?
Yeah, I think if you want to get down to 4 principles, it's basically this. It's know what your goals are.
Right. And how do people get that wrong?
Oh my God, they always get it wrong. 90% of clients I work with, you say, why are you doing this annual conference? And the answer is, well, because it's been almost 9 months since the last time we did our annual conference, and annual is right in the name. So actually understanding what it is that you're trying to do is a big one. Sometimes people have tacit ideas, but they're different among different stakeholders. So they're not aligned on what their goals are.
Got it.
But a lot of the time, people really can't say what the conference is for. They can't say why they don't know why they're doing it, and they also don't know why people would come. And often those answers are different too.
Okay.
So what's it for you? What's it for your attendees? What's it for your other stakeholders? Maybe your board, maybe your sponsors. But really understand what it is that you're trying to accomplish.
I love that. Okay.
And I'll say one more thing, which is that usually if you push hard, what people think the goal is something about connecting people.
That's great.
So the first principle is know what your goals are.
Yeah.
The second principle is then do things that support those goals.
That's hilarious. Because that's so obvious. Yeah. But why is that? Why do you even need to say that? Why is that so elusive?
Very often what happens is that I think in many kinds of endeavors, what happens is people start jumping to solutions. So people start to say things like, well, what time should we have lunch? Or what should lunch be? Or what sort of room should we get? And they're trying to answer all those questions without saying, well, wait, it depends what you're trying to do.
Right.
So as an example, if what you want is for people to get to meet as many people as they can over the course of the conference, a thing you might not want to do is, have a fancy luncheon service at a great big table.
Right.
So I think lots of people start and they say, well, let's have the best possible lunch. That's great. If you're not thinking about what your goal is.
Right.
But if your goal is to get to meet a lot of people, a thing you really don't want is to be sat at a table for 90 minutes while someone serves you a 5-course meal and you can only talk to the 2 people right next to you.
Yeah. What's the third principle?
So the third principle, well, maybe this other one illustrates that better. So it's have goals.
Yeah.
Do things that support your goals.
Yeah.
Don't do things that undermine your goals.
Right.
So the biggest example for me is you say, great, so you want people to meet each other. Yes, we do. Okay, you've got how many people coming out? About 200. Say you wanted to stop them from meeting each other. What would be a great way to do that? I have an idea. Let's put 199 of them in chairs, give one of them a microphone at the front of the room, tell the other 199 people that it's very impolite for them to talk to each other or leave the room during this time.
That's great.
So what you did, every time you program a talk, you're actually, if you want people to meet each other, you've actually made things worse.
Right. Ideally put them in seats that can't be moved in straight rows, so it's actually almost impossible to see anybody either side of you.
Yeah. I've been to lots of conferences where they're so concerned that people are out in the hallway when the talk is starting. They will gather people in from the hallway and say, hey, wait, no, it's rude for you to be out in the hallway. You should be out here listening to this talk. So they're literally stopping people who are forming meaningful connections and say, no, the more important thing is for you to go sit in this chair and listen to someone tell you a talk that is the same thing that you could go home and watch on YouTube.
All right. Those are 3 great principles, but in fact, it's your 4th principle that I love the most. What's that one?
The 4th principle is kind of a bonus rule, which is to periodically ask yourself, what would you do if you thought your attendees were competent adults?
So behind that is what?
Well, the idea that in lots of conferences, what you're trying to do is you want to allow for agency on the part of attendees.
Right.
You assume that your attendees have a lot of knowledge, which they usually do. So, I mean, I think one objection often to that sort of model of the keynote is there's almost always more expertise in the room than there is on the stage. Even if the person on the stage is the smartest person in the room, they're not as smart as everybody else combined.
Right.
A lot of examples are things like a lot of when I work with, especially conferences within companies, within organizations, the worries that, a lot of what I try to do is get people to allow their attendees to talk to each other in different kinds of ways. And they worry about things like, I had one client recently where they were worried that they had to have pre-assigned seating for the dinner because they thought, well, it's going to be too much social pressure for these people to choose their own seats. and my thought with these people, and this was a conference for vice presidents at a financial consulting.
Right.
And I was like, I really think that these people can handle being at a dinner.
Yeah.
And if they can't, you've got a bigger problem with that.
That's it.
So there's huge amounts of desire to control people in these conversations.
Right.
Whereas the more that you actually give people agency, if what you're trying to do, for instance, is build community, or what you're trying to do is within a company increase agency. You don't increase agency by controlling people's every move.
Misha, that's great. For people who are curious about your work, where do they find you on the web?
If you Google Misha Glouberman, it doesn't matter how you spell it. Google. I am the only thing that sounds remotely like Misha Glouberman.
We're going to treat everybody who's listening as a reasonably competent adult, and they will be able to find that.
Yeah, I think that'll do it.
That's brilliant, Misha. Thank you.
All right.
So Misha said, look, you can Google anything approximating my name and you'll probably find me, but I can give you specifically how to find Misha Glouberman. Misha, M-I-S-H-A, Glouberman, Glouberman. Links in the show notes, of course. Now, I love this episode. I hope you do too. I do like these kind of impromptu, short, practical ones where I grab friends and I say, talk to me. Let me tape you as we do. Leaving a review, always appreciated. Even more, spreading the word by sending an episode, this one or another one, to a friend of yours who is also wrestling with the challenges of change. Happy holidays. Thank you for doing the work. I'm glad you're here.